Hi, welcome to Trucking TV Live. I'm Chris. It's Thursday afternoon, the 9th of April 2020. I'm here in my little office and studio, really having a bodged up live session to see if you've got any points, comments, views that you would like to express about the problem that truck stops are having with drivers abusing staff and management alike. Personally, you know what I think. I think it's bloody awful and I think it's bloody disgusting. So there you have it. But we've had lots of feedback on the bits and pieces that we put on the Tracking TV Facebook before. One of the things that's really got to me is that people would like to see these guys named and shamed, and there are a lot of them about. So I'm going to say let's name and shame people. Good afternoon, Paul. I hope you agree with me. Interesting. I don't know really where to go with this, but I'll be guided by you. So the reality on this is that some of the comments we've had say, let's just read them. I don't know whether you've read them, but I'll give you a clue as to what they say. A couple of people have said, name them and shame them and name the companies they work for. Paul Mail made a very good point. He said, when did it become okay to abuse anyone just because you can? Well, the reality, I suppose, is when people can get away with it. Especially, he says, when people are doing you a favour, for fuck's sake. Sorry. I don't believe in the mentality of some drivers. If a place is not for you, then go off to BP and demand your free coffee or free parking or whatever. Because you think you deserve it for simply doing your job. It's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't know where to go with this because I'm looking really for commentary from your good selves. If there's driving, I see Mark Coney is a big supporter of Cost to Worth. I am actually. That meal was fantastic. And he's saying that take the registration number of the vehicle that the man's driving, the company name, and ban them. Well, that's hard to do, but I do agree that maybe, just maybe, you should get back to their company and say your company, your driver is having to go at my staff when we're trying to provide a service. I think that's not a bad idea. Drivers like these should be ashamed of themselves, says Paul Adams, and I think he's probably right. Let's have a look, see if you've made any comments at this point. Are there any comments kicking about out there? Don't know. You're allowed to, Paul. You can. Okay, let's see what else is on the curriculum. I'm now going to try a little experiment with you. Perhaps I hope that you'll be able to hear this. Tell me if you can, because to be honest with you, I really need to know if you can hear this. So let's try and do this one. Here we go. Now this is Anita, who's the manager at Colsterworth. See what she's got to say. The big question that arises in my head really is, how does this make you feel? Because you're out there doing the best you can to help people get through their day, get fed, get looked after a bit, and then someone comes at you and gives you a gobful. What's the story?
It's a bit degrading sometimes. We're all here, we're voluntary working. We want to keep the business running to serve as many truck drivers as we can and key workers. It does get us down, but we're trying to look on a positive side, and we know that at the end of it we'll all be okay. But we just want to keep going with it. We've got a lovely window display. Children are putting posters up for the drivers to have a look while they're waiting for the food. And all that I'm basically asking for is people just to be nice and pleasant. We're all working in uncharted territories, and it is really hard for everybody. I feel for the drivers, and sometimes I feel for the staff as well, because we're not here to be abused at the end of the day.
That's smashing, Anita. Thank you very much, sweetheart. I'd like to get your views on what she said, because essentially none of us are here to be abused, especially when we're working and trying to achieve something, which drivers are and which these catering staff are. It's really important, I think, that drivers get supported by people working in cafes and at truck stops, so that they can get at least something decent to eat once or twice a day. You need it, don't you? And I know a lot of people cook in their cabs, but I know equally a lot of people who'd be glad to have a break from it. someone said to me this morning, you go to sleep with the cab smelling of what you've cooked, etc. I'd rather have, I guess you'd say, open the window with nice weather, but it's not the case. People would rather have someone else do some of the work for them, because otherwise you've got to cook it, you've got to wash up, you've got to faff about. And the reality is that for most drivers and most people on the road, there are poor facilities for keeping yourself clean, let alone doing the bloody washing up. Okay, I'm Chris. We're not getting much feedback, so I'm not going to continue for too much longer. You're watching Trucking TV live on Facebook. We haven't got a great deal of feedback at this stage on this little experimental run, but we have got a like, which makes us feel good. Okay, and we'll see where we go with it. From my point of view, let me also say to you, we've had 3 comments back from other truck stops, which is really interesting, which says that they are more or less getting the same kind of problem. One lady said she was sworn at this morning because a guy couldn't get what he wanted and he threatened to come and punch her in the mouth. That's lovely, isn't it? I can't believe that anybody would say that to someone who actually wants to help them. Stupid? Yeah, I think so. Nasty? Yeah, I think so. And I've worked with Trucking TV now for about 4 years. And some of the truck drivers I know, most of the truck drivers I know, are decent people, trying to do a good job and having problems doing it because they get so much crap from the rest of the population. The reality, guys, is that you drivers, have to support the people who are trying to support our transport system, and that includes the people who are running cafes and working in cafes. People go to work to earn a living, to provide a service. They don't go to work to get offended or upset by people who are talking to them. I had a really nice message from one of the other ladies who got in touch, who said essentially those drivers do not appreciate or understand the amount of damage, if you like, the emotional damage they're doing to people who think they're doing a good job, trying to help. She lost a staff member a couple of days ago because the lady phoned her husband, and when she was, given a mouthful by some driver, and her husband said, "I'm not having you put up with this kind of crap." And he came into work, picked her up, took her away, said she's not coming back. Thanks, goodbye. So if you see this kind of thing happening, if you take a photograph, if you record some video, if you just record the sound, give it to us on Trucking TV through the Facebook page or whatever, and we'll play it. There you go. I can go no further than that. David Bearcroft, thank you so much for watching. Paul Godby, thank you for watching. Anybody else who's watching, thank you too. I hope you found this interesting. I'm sad we haven't got much feedback, but it's one of those things that happens. I'm Chris. This is Trucking TV, and I will see you soon.